Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Tom's Corner, where you hear the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. Topic lesson today is something that no one ever wants to discuss, or even much less think about. The title is Open Thoughts on Suicide. Now that that's sunk in a little bit, I want to make a statement on this that I don't believe, this is my own personal belief on this, that if your girlfriend dumps you, that you have the liberty to go and hang yourself because you cannot live without your girlfriend. I really believe, this is my thoughts on it, you go straight to hell for that. Now, in saying this on this, we're talking about I may have stubbed my leg or I may have gotten mad at someone and I'll fix them. I'll go kill myself. We've heard people say that many times. I just go kill myself. And my thoughts on that is, again, I believe you go to hell for the simple crazy stuff that you do. Okay? And if you go out and get yourself involved in sin, and you're in sin, and the devil possesses you, and you have never been repented or anything, I believe there also, you go to hell. Just plain facts. But I'm going to read you something here, and I'm going to let you think on it. Are you ready? In Mark 9:17 through 29, it states this: And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. Now, a dumb spirit is a spiritual entity, particularly in religious contents, that is understood to cause deafness and muteness, preventing a person from hearing or speaking spiritual truths. Now, the term dumb is used in its older sense of being unable to speak, not lacking intelligence. In a biblical passage from Mark 9, Jesus cast out a deaf and dumb spirit that afflicted a boy. This is what I'm going to go into, symbolizing a spiritual blockage that hinders one's ability to receive and respond to God. Number 18, and wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him. Mark 9:18 describes the violent, destructive symptoms of a demon-possessed boy who is seized by a spirit. Now thrown to the ground, left to convulse, foam at the mouth, and grind his teeth. Distressing physical symptoms. The father's description includes foaming at the mouth, gnashing teeth, and pining away, which are symptoms of intense suffering and physical torment. Now let's go on. And he foameth and gnasheth with his teeth, and pineth away. And how many of you know, look it up in the dictionary, pineth away is you're crying and you're weeping and howling over things that's going on either inside of you or outside of you. And you continue to do this. And I spake to the disciples that they should cast him out. And they could not. Now 19, the word of God says, He answereth him and saith, O faithless generation, How long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him to me. This is what Jesus said. Now we'll go on. In 20, and they brought him unto him, and when he saw him, straightway the spirit tear him. And he fell on the ground and wallered foaming. 21. Now this is Jesus again. And he asked his father, how long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, of a child. Now in 22 it says, and oftentimes he hath cast him into the fire. As when he refers to him, we're talking about the demonic spirit that possesses this boy. Hath cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. Trying to kill him all the time, trying to kill him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us. Notice he said us there, because there's a torment going on with him, because he has to 24/7 watch over his child to keep his child safe from killing himself. And this is the demonic spirit that's in him. And help us. That's what he said. 23, Jesus said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Now listen what his father said. 24, and straightway the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe. Help thou mine unbelief. In other words, the doubt that's coming up over him, Lord, help me get past this. Help me to totally believe that you can cast this demonic spirit out of my son. That's what he's referring to. 25. Now when Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit. Notice what he's saying here. He's referring to it even as a foul spirit. Now, a foul spirit is a term for an evil or unclean spirit common in the Christian theology, which is seen as a malevolent spiritual entity that causes defilement and corruption. These spirits are described as being intelligent, sinful, and allied with Satan. Saying unto him, let's go on with the scripture, saying unto him, thou dumb and deaf spirit. Jesus speaking to the boy, thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him and enter no more. Notice what he said, and enter no more into him. If he hadn't said that, that spirit would come around and try to get back in there. 26, and the spirit cried and rent him sore and came out of him. And he was as one dead. It was a traumatic experience that happened to this young boy, because apparently for a long time that spirit dwelt in that child, insomuch that many said he's dead. Now 27, and Jesus took him by the hand, lifted him up, and he arose. Okay, here we go. Now, remember in verse 21, Jesus asked his father when this happened. His father said when he was a small child. In verse 24, the boy is still referred to as a child. Now, in Jewish tradition, at the age of 12 was actually the starting point of manhood. Did you know that one? Okay, go back and read the Jewish laws there pertaining to that. Now, we don't know how the demon entered the child, but we do find many children that have been traumatized as small children. Such thing as rape, physical abuse, trauma, they become open. What I'm saying is it traumatized them so bad, it's like a breaker. Floop, the switch went off and there's nothing there. And this is what happens to these young people that have been traumatized. Now, we do know that the evil spirit tried to kill the boy many times. Yes, we do. My question is this: what if the demon has succeeded in killing the child? Now, I want you to think on this. Would the child go to heaven? Now, remember, you have to think hard on this before you answer. Just don't come up with this and that, okay? Now, years ago, I had shingles. This is my story. I went 3 weeks before the doctors saw me. My back and my chest was covered with shingles. Plus, my right arm was having nerve damage. Couldn't even hardly lift my arm. It was killing me so bad. The doctor prescribed Neurontin, which I took for at least 4 days. It took the pain away, eased my mind. I was a little dopey, but I felt like I was getting better. But after 4 days, things drastically changed. I mean, drastically changed. And the only way I can even describe what was happening to me, it seemed like my brain had literally turned angry. It's the only way I can explain it. I stopped taking the pills immediately. But I fought my brain, my own brain, for a week. I know it may sound crazy, but I'm telling you, it was an experience I never want to go through again, and I never took Neurontin again. They offered many times when I went to see the doctor for such and such. They say it's supposed to be good for the nerve endings and so forth to calm the brain down. Well, it didn't do that to me. It turned drastically wrong. Okay? I fought my own brain after a week. I took a 1 week fighting. I couldn't get away from it. It's like it's there, but I wanted to get away. I wanted to jump there. But how do you get away from your brain? You don't. Now, the label said that if you have suicidal thoughts, stop taking the pill. Well, you know, sad thing with that is I started reading that on the back after I done went through all this. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. This is the closest I have ever come to not wanting to live. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the first time that I've ever come so close not wanting to live. Now, here's the question. If I had taken my life because this medication for shingles had affected my mind, where would I be in eternity? I want you to think on that. You have your own ideas? Text them to me. I want to hear them. You find out in the Bible where you find it says directly, if you commit suicide, you're going straight to hell. I'd like to find that in there too. I haven't found it yet, but maybe you can find it. Find it for me. So this is a controversial topic, and I understand a lot of people have pros and cons on this, okay? And a lot of people said, well, if I'd have went through that, I'd have never done nothing like that. I'm going to say something. There's people that they'd given LSD to, and the person did not even know that they had been taking LSD, and this is a governmental experiment that the government was putting on people, and they didn't know that at the time. And some of them even walked right out a window in a high skyscraper and fell to their death. And when they did it, they were under the influence of something they didn't know anything about, but to them in their mind, when they saw this opening, they were just walking out the door. You're going to have to be the judge of this, because I want to hear your pros and cons on it. God bless. I'll see you the next trip.